And welcome back to Beerfield Fantasy Football Shots. I am your host, Christopher Hopper at HopBFF. In this episode, we're going to be talking daily fantasy picks for week 2. So as is the case, and what we did in week 1, we're going to keep with the same format. So I'm going to give you a pay for. It's a guy that's higher dollar, but you should feel comfortable paying for them because they're going to give you all the upside in the world. I'm going to give you a safe guy who's a little bit cheaper, kind of in a mid-tier price range, but he's not going to bust even if he doesn't boom. So he's going to be a safe buy for you. Then I'm going to give you a steal, a guy that's lower that we might not be as high on our rankings, but that has higher upside this week. As always, you can follow the show at BeerfieldFF on Twitter. I am at HopBFF on Twitter with 2 Ps. You can also check out my co-host at Nick Sparts and at ThurryBFF. And like, subscribe, listen to the Beerfield Fantasy Football Podcast. We are on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you feel like going for it. So let's kick into some Beer Money DFS picks.
Hopper's Weekly Beer Money DFS picks.
And starting with quarterback. So my pay for this week is going to be Drew Brees. Drew Brees is at home where he is tremendously better than he is on the road. He didn't look terrible on the road, but he didn't look great. He's facing a pissed off Tom Brady against a depleted Patriots defense. It's going to be without Deontay Foreman. So I expect this game to be a shootout. Brees at home is always a safe bet. He's going for $7,700 on DraftKings. He is my quarterback 1 this week. So Drew Brees would be my pay 4. Sticking with quarterback, my safe guy here is going to be Russell Wilson. He's playing the 49ers. They look bad against the Packers. That line looked bad against the Packers. They should be able to right the ship, though, adjust the game plan, and he should be good against the 49ers. He's always got that floor with his legs. So Russell Wilson is my safe pick. He's going for $6,800. QB4 this week up against a not good defense. And my steal is going to be Trevor Siemian. He actually finished as a QB4 last week. They've got another good matchup with Dallas. Most of their tight ends are blocking tight ends. Their line is okay, so I don't expect the pass rush to get there. Dallas' secondary, despite as good as Eli Manning made them look, is not good on paper. He's got a couple big wide receivers that should feast. Running game should be good. He's going for $4,900. He's my quarterback 18, but he's got a lot higher upside. So Trevor Siemian is my deep steal at quarterback this week. Moving along to running backs, my pay 4 is going to be Devonta Freeman. Green Bay, Atlanta should be an absolute barn burner for offense. Devonta Freeman, I like. He's going to be active in the passing game. He's going to be active in the running game, whereas Green Bay likes to throw the ball a decent amount more than I like to run it. The Falcons will actually run the ball as a secondary option besides throwing downfield to Julio. So Devonta Freeman is who I really like here as a pay-for guy with safe upside this week. He's going for $7,300 on DraftKings. He's my running back 4. From the same game, my safe play is going to be Ty Montgomery. Almost for the same reason. He's super active in the passing game. They'll split him out wide. He's going to be active in the running game as well. Jamal Williams was not taking snaps from him. He's going for $5,800. He's the running back 9. Game script is not going to put him out, and I expect this to be close and a shootout. They'll be throwing plenty. And keeping with pass-catching running backs in shootouts, Alvin Kamara would be my steal. Kamara outsnapped Peterson. He outsnapped Mark Ingram. He looked like the most effective back. He's active in the passing game. They want to use him. And again, that game should also be a shootout. It shouldn't go blowout. It shouldn't be game scripted out. So Alvin Kamara at $3,500. He's my running back 25. I think he's an excellent flex player, especially if you go high end at other positions and you need a productive running back to fill in. Moving on to wide receiver, my pay for is going to be Julio Jones. Julio Jones is going for $9,200. Everything I just said about the Packers-Falcons game, just apply it to him. He's who Matt Ryan's going to target. He's my wide receiver 1. Safe play here is going to be Larry Fitzgerald at $6,700. He's my wide receiver 9. The Cardinals are up against the Colts, so Carson Palmer looked bad last week. I don't expect that against a hapless Colts defense at all. They're without John Brown and without David Johnson, so Larry Fitzgerald should be who the ball moves through. DraftKings is PPR, so Larry Fitzgerald should be an absolute steal at $6,700 this week. And I love that matchup. Absolutely. But if you listen to one thing I say, put Fitzgerald in your lineups. And my steal is going to be Devontae Parker. You saw some of the report with Jay Cutler in training camp. The Chargers are going to be without Jason Verrett. Jarvis Landry is expected to go, so should draw Casey Hayward, which means Parker is going to have a lesser cornerback. And rapport with Cutler, who's not going to be afraid to throw it downfield to him. A lot of upside this week for Devontae Parker. So as long as Cutler's got his stuff together and that line holds up against a pretty good pass rush, I love Devontae Parker this week. At $5,400, he's going to give you a lot of upside and actually give you a safer floor than some of these steals. On to tight end, my pay for is going to be Rob Gronkowski. I've already talked about the Patriots-Saints game. They're without Danny Amendola. They're going to need somebody to fill in as a pass catcher. Yes, Rex Burkhead will flip some of that, but Rob Gronkowski should also see his target volume go up. He should not have to stay in and block against a relatively bad Saints defense. The offensive line should be able to handle that. So Rob Gronkowski should be very, very active in the passing game, and we all know what he can do with that when he is. My safe bet's going to be Kyle Rudolph in Pittsburgh. Yes, Thielen and Diggs feasted last week. Pittsburgh has better corners, though, than the Saints do, but they should be able to open it up around the middle of the field. You beat the pass rush with dump-offs to the tight end. Bradford's not afraid to throw it to Rudolph, especially when he's hobbled. And he's always got touchdown upside. So Kyle Rudolph at $4,200 should be a favorable matchup this week. And my steal is going to be Cameron Brate at $3,000. He's my tight end 7. He's up against the Bears, who, again, they have a really good front 7, but they don't really have anybody that's going to cover him with Darrell Freeman out. So he should be the second read for Jameis Winston behind Mike Evans in the passing game. Yes, Deshaun Jackson's there. They'll take a couple shots to him, but to move the ball, that should mostly be Cameron Brate. He gave him a lot of nice floor last year. I don't expect O.J. Howard to work in a lot in the passing game, so Cameron Brate is my steal here this week. And on to defenses. So my pay for is going to be Seattle. They're up against a relatively meh 49ers offense. Sherman's going to play. 49ers offense still trying to find themselves a little bit. They did not look good last week. So I fully expect the Seahawks defense to at least not get blown out, but they should have a heyday with this one. My safe play is going to be the Panthers against Buffalo. They've got a good front 7 also, even though their corners are a little bit suspect. And Tyrod Taylor doesn't really throw the ball, so they're going to try to dump down and run with McCoy, which is running right into the strength of this defense. So I really think that the Panthers have a very favorable matchup. They're going for $3,600. They're our defense 9, or my defense 9. And my steal this week is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. I keep wanting to call them San Diego. I know I'm not alone in that. They're going for $2,800. Look, they still have a favorable matchup. They're still have a really, really good pass rush again. And Jay Cutler's prone to throwing interceptions. So I think that you can run the Chargers out there with some upside. And regardless, I don't think they're really going to hurt you. They should be good for a couple sacks, maybe an interception or two because it is Jay Cutler. So you go ahead and run them out if you're looking for something cheap. They're $2,800. There are 14 this week.
Hopper's Weekly DFS lineup.
And finally, as for the lineup that I am going to run out last week, by the way, we did win some money on a $3 entry. We turned in $6, so not as well as I'd hoped for, but positive money is positive money, all right? So at quarterback, I'm going to be running out Trevor Siemian. Running back, Devonta Freeman and Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon's a guy I didn't really talk about here, but I expect the Chargers to try to move the ball through him. Miami doesn't necessarily have a scary defense, even though it's okay. So I expect Melvin Gordon to be heavily involved. He was kind of like every one of these lineups. There will be somebody in them that I don't really talk about because just to make the salary budget work. So Melvin Gordon's that guy this week. Wide receivers, Julio Jones, Devontae Parker, Larry Fitzgerald. So I put in all 3 wide receivers. So that's how confident I am in those picks. Tight end's going to be Cameron Brate. Again, needed to save a little bit of money, so I went with the safety in that. Flex is Alvin Kamara. Again, I really, really like Kamara this week. He's going to be involved, and I think that he flashes and shows why they drafted him. And my defense is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. I almost called them San Diego again. That's it for DFS picks. Be sure to check out the news episodes every day on this YouTube channel. Subscribe. That way they'll get pushed right to your phone. Nick Spartz will be back with you tomorrow. He'll have some ins and outs and the daily news episode. Once again, I am at HopBFF. You can follow me on Twitter at that address or handle or whatever. You can follow the show at BeerfieldSF. And you can follow my co-host at Nick Sparts and at ThurryBFF. Be sure to like and check out the podcast. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. That is Beerfield Fantasy Football. Leave us a review. We'd love to hear from y'all. And otherwise, we will talk at you tomorrow.